So yeah, I think it's time. I think it's time to do Furina's Story Quest. Nuvelet and Risley waited for 3 days before this update came out for me to do their story quests. Yeah, I think I will do this one right now. Navigate. Fontaine's Adventure Guild. Well, let's go. To yesterday. Ooh. To yesterday.
Hey, Catherine, it's us. Got any new commissions? Specifically one with a huge more attack, perhaps?
Classic Paimon. To be more lucrative, the better.
You know we're worth it. For quality work and speedy results, choose Paimon and the Traveler.
To be fair, we are the most famous
It's always a pleasure
adventurers
to
in
see
the
our
region.
two most avid adventurers again.
Yeah.
Looking for the next challenge, I see.
We should fetch a
Actually,
high price.
We do in fact have a rather urgent commission that is still open.
Ooh.
Having read the details, however, I don't believe you'd consider it to be lucrative.
No, what's up with
Don't
it?
worry about that. We were just kidding. So what's the situation?
To put it simply, the requester is looking for a temporary replacement actress for their musical. The
Okay.
original cast member ran into some issues and is currently unable to perform the role. But the troupe has also been experiencing some financial difficulties, so unfortunately they cannot afford to pay the replacement actress.
Okay.
That does sound like a tricky situation. So basically they're looking for a volunteer?
Ah, bro, we have an experience.
That's right. Our adventurers reached out to many actresses, but none of them were willing to take the job. There are only a few days left until the performance. If they can't find someone in time, they'll probably have to postpone the show. And delays tend to create all sorts of new problems.
And there'll be even
Got it.
worse financial
this
situation
one's
then.
a doozy. What do you think, Traveler? Any ideas?
I mean, we do know
Even if
official.
we took the commission, neither of us have any experience starring in musicals.
But we do. We straight up did it before.
If you're interested in helping, why not start by having a chat with the requester? He's right over there. Maybe you can't fill the role yourselves, but you might be able to help him figure out another solution. Maybe there's something he hasn't thought of.
Oh, it's that guy, huh? No wonder, he looks like he just ate a sour lemon.
Oh, so you don't know him. It sounds like, it's that guy. Got it.
Paimon approved, let's go! Hello there, are you the guy looking for a new actress?
Wait, I know you two. Are you really willing to act in my musical?
No.
Wow, sounds like we're pretty famous in Fontaine already. But to answer your question, neither of us have any experience in musicals. But we heard that you're in a bit of a bind, so we figured we could at least try to help you think of a solution.
But I do have a voice of an angel.
I see. It's okay. I knew that asking for a volunteer was a long shot. If we can't find someone to step in, we'll have no choice but to cancel the show. It would be such a shame.
Can't you cover the
That's the
cost?
thing. We're not some high-profile theater troupe, just a group of amateur enthusiasts.
Ah, wonderful.
All our sets and props are very crude. We're grateful enough just to get an audience, never mind ticket fees. If we had a way to make this profitable,
So
things
you're-
might have turned out differently.
So we're doing it for
But
no
now,
money.
It looks
Okay.
inevitable that we'll disband.
Disband? You're splitting up the troupe?
I mean, if people can't make money,
I
they
guess
will
the
leave.
lady at the Adventurers Guild didn't tell you? Yeah. This is supposed to be our final show together as a troupe.
Oh.
One last show. And after that, we go our separate ways. So we were really hoping to end on a high note.
Oh, wow.
Nobody wants things to just fizzle out. Not after all the time and effort we've invested into it.
She mentioned.
Yeah. The leading lady, in fact.
Oh, wow, that's
She's
a
been
big
dealing
issue.
with a chronic illness ever since childhood. And unfortunately, it flared up again recently.
Huh.
It really drains all her energy, so she's in no state to perform. The show just won't be the same without her. But for everyone else's sake, I still hope we can find a way to hold the performance on schedule.
Got it. We have a clearer picture now. Let's see if we can come up with any ideas. What if we sponsored the show? Traveler, how much more are you carrying?
Not
Please,
much.
There's no need to go that far.
Very little.
I wouldn't feel right asking such a huge favor. And I can't promise that we'd ever be able to pay you back.
Mora isn't the biggest problem. How do we find someone who's good fit for the role?
Good point. If the actress just goes through the motions for the Mora, that's not exactly rescuing the show.
True.
We should find someone who will put on the best performance possible. Oh, wait! What about... you know who?
Ah, yes. The actress who's been playing the same role for 500 years.
That's how you know we're the best of partners. Anyway, she should have all the free time in the world right now. She's really good at performing, and she was once super popular with the crowd. Performing in a musical should be a piece of cake for her.
Question is if she can sing.
Who are you thinking of? Sounds like someone famous.
Furina?
You're... That was a joke, right?
No.
Nope. Paimon doesn't actually know if she's performed on stage before, but Paimon's pretty confident that she'd be really good at it.
Oh yeah, she's
You're
born
not
actress.
wrong there. She has actually performed in a number of big-name shows before.
Oh,
They
did
were
she?
one of the reasons she was so popular.
Wait, really?
Even if she's no longer the Hydro Archon, it's not like she's suddenly a commoner.
Well, she
She's
kind of
still an
is.
idol to many people in Fontaine, including myself. I just think Lady Furina might feel a bit out of place in an amateur troupe like ours.
You want the show to go ahead, don't you?
Well, yes, but...
Well, that's our best shot.
Fair enough. I mean, if she was actually willing to, then of course I'd be honored to have Lady Furina star in our show. I'm sure the rest of the troupe would be delighted too. I'm sure everyone in our troupe has probably dreamt of performing on stage with her one day. Of course,
But it kind of
it
makes
all
sense
depends
that
on
in her
whether she's
free time she would
interested.
act.
She might consider this opportunity beneath her.
No point in stressing about that. We'll only know if we ask her.
Exactly.
Besides, things are different now. There's no reason for her to be all
Wha-
high and mighty anymore.
Worst she can say is no. Let's go. It'll be a good check-in on her anyway.
Thank you.
Where
for
does
your
she
help.
live now anyway?
I guess I'll just stay here and wait for the good news.
There's like a
Good
shack
luck.
behind Palais Memoria.
Where
Memonia.
does Furina actually live nowadays? She used to live in luxury at the Palais Mermonia, but she's, moved out, right?
Let's ask
As it
Nubile.
happens, I have her current address here. I can provide it to you.
You're doxing Furina.
When did you get here?
You're doxing Furina.
I came over when things were starting to sound more promising. I thought I should be at the ready in case my assistance is needed. It is my
clever.
duty to support commissioners in any way I can.
Including
Thank you.
doxing people.
Thank you so much.
Well, now that we've got the address, we'll go find Furina. Back in a jiffy.
So I'ma change my team for one very important reason. I've seen this wonderful meme that was, wait, quick setup. I've seen this wonderful meme that took Venti, where is she? Fischl, Furina, Fischl, and Hutao, who I don't have.
Behold, the Prinzessin der Verurteilung.
Yes, and Hutao, who I don't have, and call them Defeater Kids.
Boring!
Oh, this way. Sorry, whoever you are, not right now. Right now, we're in the middle of a story quest. Huh. Well, it's not a shack, per se.
Did Catherine really give us the right address? She lives here?
A 2-minute walk from the...
Not that there's anything wrong with this place, it's just, a bit of a step down from the Palais Mermonia.
Well, where else would you have her live?
You know, it's common courtesy to make sure the homeowner isn't in earshot when you're denigrating their abode.
Oh, wow. Yeah, depressed.
Okay, when did Poppy Got a Thin Air become all the rage? First Catherine and now you?
I was just out on a shopping trip. I ran out of macaroni, so I went to grab a few more bags.
Very
I
common.
used to have a much wider range of choices when it came to food. But now I'm finding that simple, traditional home cooking can be quite delicious too.
Do you eat macaroni every day? I know, I sure do. It's so easy to make.
Not at all. As long as you have different kinds of sauces in, you can have macaroni and tomato sauce one week, macaroni and bolognese the next.
Wait. Bolognese is just tomato sauce with meat. Girl, bolognese is a tomato sauce with ground meat. What do you mean different kinds of sauces?
Oh, sounds like you're really struggling to cope.
Is it because you know how to do all? Is it because you have to do all your own cooking
How
now?
rude! Questioning my cooking skills. The audacity!
No, girl, we're on the
It's
same
not
boat.
like I have a very eventful life these days. Actually, I barely leave the house.
Oh
So
wow.
I don't see how it's unusual that my meals are a little simpler now too.
You know what?
Besides,
I
I'm
feel.
sure I could master dishes like la lettre focilor or blubber profiteroles in no time, if I felt so inclined.
Ah, there it is. You don't know how to cook.
Not yet, maybe, but... Anyway,
Bruh.
what are you even doing here?
Bruh,
I do hope you didn't come here just to ogle at my fall from grace.
I feel called out. I feel called out. Fuck off. I've been eating the same 3 meals for a month, okay? I feel called out. It's cheaper to cook at home, okay? I also go and buy a fuck ton of macaroni because it's just easier. Fuck you, okay?
Let me first be clear that I'm not taking guests at this time. So if you're just here to clown around, then please be on your way. Shoot!
Sorry! We're sorry! Please don't be mad!
We're just showing concern at your well-being.
Exactly! What the traveler said! Paimon wasn't trying to make fun of you.
No, not at all.
You weren't exactly holding back either.
Why was she so quiet though?
My help? Well, maybe you're forgetting that
She's
I'm
kinda
no
happy to hear
longer
that.
the mighty Hydro Archon. I don't even have a vision, you know.
Yeah, I know.
It's nothing that serious. It's just very specific, and you're the one with the power to help.
If not you, then no one.
Oh? Well, if that's the case, then fine. I'll spare you the lecture about your attitude just now.
Why do you keep wearing the crown?
So tell me, what specifically makes this matter so specific?
We wanna get you out of your depression and put you on stage for one performance.
I see. I knew you couldn't have come all this way just to amuse yourselves at my expense. After all, I was once the brightest star in all of Fontaine, well versed in all the various performing arts. A mere musical is well within my capabilities.
Girl, your ego is showing. You cut your hair. Remember
Given
that.
the present circumstances, I'm afraid I must regretfully decline your casting request.
Why?
Come! It sounds like this would be a breeze for you.
True, but I have made a decision to retire from the stage. Although I am no longer required to play the role of the Hydro Archon, the time I spent inhabiting that character has left an indelible mark on me.
Wow, okay.
Centuries of
Yeah,
pretending to be a different person changes
Yeah.
you completely.
Yeah,
I'm not the same person I once was. Of
that's
course,
fair.
that can't be undone now. It's too late, and I have no intention of reinventing myself all over again. But at least I can say that I no longer desire to play any new roles.
Huh. So you just wanna be you. Fair
I can
enough.
understand.
It's fair.
This is just a one-off part to fill in for someone who's sick. Surely that's okay.
Whether it's a one-off or not, It's a boundary that I've committed to no longer cross.
You know, and I
If
respect
I make an
that.
exception to the rule now, I'm just leaving a back door for myself, which would be the same as not having a boundary in the first place.
You know?
So I'm not
Yeah.
going to perform, and
Ver-
that is that.
Very good way to look at it. I
Guess
agree
there's no
100%.
convincing you. Well, is there anything else we can do to help out the troupe? Otherwise, they'll just have to disband without any fanfare. Do you know any other actors who might be interested in the role?
Nope.
Short and to the point. Okay.
I've never been great at maintaining relationships. Besides, anyone I've ever worked with probably couldn't wait to get rid of me.
Oh.
Since I'm just an ordinary person now, they'll probably just laugh in my face if I go asking them for help. True, but I mean, could you even blame them? I show up out of the blue, begging and groveling for their help with a show they won't even get paid for? Ooh, no way. I'm dying from embarrassment just thinking about it.
Yeah, you did fall. You did
Nope,
fall a long way, didn't
Not
you?
happening.
Well, is there anything else we can do? This performance really means a lot to the guy we're working for.
Have I not made myself clear? You're barking up the wrong tree.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
Paimon,
want this
you're
job,
being rude
nor
at this
do
point.
I know of anyone else who would. Sorry. I didn't mean for that to sound so harsh.
No, that
I
was
wish I could help,
understandable.
really. But if I thought I had the answer to this problem, I would have said so by now.
It's all right, Furina. Paimon just wanted to make sure we tried everything. Oh, everyone in the troupe will be so disappointed.
Paimon, can you stop trying to guilt trip Furina? Like I agree with her. Like I actually genuinely completely agree with her. She doesn't wanna play a character anymore. She wants to be just herself. She's left scarred after 500 years of pretending to be someone she's not. She just wants to live a normal life. She sets herself boundaries she doesn't want to cross and will not make an exception on them. Absolutely. Absolutely, baby. Yes. Don't make exceptions. I don't make exceptions on my boundaries either. Fuck yeah, go for it, girl.
Yeah, I guess that's all we can do now. All right, then.
Toodaloo to you too. I'm going home to take a rest now.
From what? A macaroni trip? She's going home to cry again. Can we? We can't, can we? Well,
It's too bad, but we have to respect Furina's decision.
yeah, that's why you shouldn't have pushed like
Maybe
that.
the thought of performing brings up too many painful memories now.
You think? Oh. Hello.
What's going on? Are they arguing?
Girl, I don't know. I know as much as you do.
That's besides the point. I'll ask you again. Why did you start looking for a replacement without my consent? When did I tell you I'm going to take a step back?
Oof.
You didn't need to say it. We've known each other for how long now? We know the signs. But you never tell us about your illness, even when it's clearly flaring up.
And
Oof.
that gives you the right to make a decision on my behalf?
You know
Shortly
what?
after you left, the troupe's lead actress came to the Adventurers Guild. She believes that she's healthy enough to perform.
Okay.
Excuse me, but can you both take a moment to discuss something else for now? The adventurer assigned to your commission has returned.
Sorry. I was
Up.
just dealing with a little misunderstanding. So, how did your conversation with Furina go?
DiCaprio meme. Furina was there. When did she get there?
Sadly, it's a no from her.
To the right,
We
like.
tried to persuade her, but she wasn't having it. She doesn't want to play the role for personal reasons.
I see. Well, circumstances have changed a little, so maybe that's not such bad news after all. You see, our leading lady has just informed me that she's well enough to make it to the show after
Yeah,
all.
Catherine told us.
Staging the musical with the full original cast was always the dream, of course.
Oh, right. Sounds
The-
like everything worked itself out then.
There she is, hiding in the corner. Imagine if we had managed to convince Furina to join.
Yeah, she'd be livid. We'd get the scolding of a lifetime.
Jeez, is Lady Furina really so harsh with people?
Only joking, calm down. So, guess we can consider this case closed now, huh? Despite the fact that we failed to complete the commission, we were still racking our brains for ideas on the way back here.
Look, there's no point arguing with you about this anymore. You've made yourself very
Oh my
clear,
god,
so I'll
Furina
stop
should
looking
change.
for a
Furina
replacement.
should change her mind.
This is the
Run
last
after
chance
us.
we have, though. If your illness flares up again, there won't be time to find anyone to replace you. So, are you absolutely sure you'll be able to handle it? The whole team is putting everything they have into this final performance. We have to make sure it goes ahead.
Yes, I'm completely confident. I've been taking a new medication from the doctor, and it's working brilliantly. I'll definitely be able to tough it out until the performance day. I share everyone's desire to commemorate all our years as a troupe with a proper farewell show. So the last thing I want is to be left out. Every
enough.
one of us thinks of this troupe as their home, myself included.
You're
Yeah.
right. I'm sorry. I let myself get too worried about the show. I should have asked for your permission first.
All's well that ends well. Sounds like the show will go on.
Ah. I noticed someone.
Sure.
Furina. Was that smile?
Hey, how did you... I was just passing by because I
The
realized
fuck?
I forgot a couple of items on my shopping list.
Oh, why did we jump her like
Alright,
this?
I'm coming. No need to drag me.
Oof. Oof.
Hello, one and all. I couldn't help but overhear your conversation just now.
Furina, stop playing a character.
Didn't you say you were gonna take a rest at home? What are you doing here?
I was just ever so slightly concerned about the situation you mentioned. Yes, a teensy bit concerned. That's all.
Can you stop
When you
lying?
came to talk with me earlier, I jumped right to explaining my position and said some strongly worded things. And all before I even had a full grasp of the situation. Anyway, I just feel a bit bad about how it went down. I'm
Aww.
sorry, Paimon.
Aww. Furina.
It's totally fine. Paimon didn't take any of that personally.
Oh my god. Girl, like... What is this character growth? Oh my god. What the...
You really have a knack for asking the most uncomfortable questions, don't you?
Yeah,
I
we're
felt
pushing the
very
character.
sheepish, having had a change of heart after flatly refusing you. And then, to make matters worse, you caught me. But in any case, it sounds like the issue has already been resolved.
Yeah. When they said they were gonna ask for your help, I almost had a heart attack. I mean, how could we be worthy of having Lady Furina star in our show?
There's no need to think like that, and no need to keep addressing me as lady. Just Furina is fine. I was wondering, if this troupe is so important to all of you, why does it have to disband?
Yeah.
If the difficulties are purely financial, then there must be a solution. You could put the shows on pause while you look for a sponsor, for instance. Everyone seems so devoted to the troupe. I'm sure if you keep chipping away, you'll find a way through.
We all want to believe that, but some things are just beyond our control.
So what happened?
Everything's been going downhill ever since we lost our director. She was the heart and soul of our troupe. She kept us going.
Her name was O'Reilly, and she was the founder as well as the artistic director of our troupe. And tragically, she was a victim in this serial disappearances case.
Whoa, 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 whoa. That's been like... The last of those was like fucking 6 years ago. The last of those was like 6 years ago. The fuck do you mean you didn't... Like, even if like 3 years ago. The fuck do you mean you like didn't get... For 3 years...
What?
That's actually how I recognized these two. It was all thanks to their efforts that the true culprit was brought to justice. But still, no
Well,
sentence can bring our director back to us.
She was a loyal fan of your performances, Miss Furina. They were what first inspired her to get into musical theater.
oh
She
Jesus.
rallied many people around her who were destitute or had lost their sense of purpose in life, and convinced them to join her troupe. She wrote her own scripts, acted on stage, and
gonna
mentored
get
each
Furina
and
to
every
join
one
you?
of us. People loved our performances back then. We seemed to be going from strength to strength. Things were really looking up for us.
And then disaster struck.
Yeah. After that, the entire troupe fell into disarray. None of us know anything about script writing, let
And
alone
how long
to
ago
handle
was
the
that?
business side of things. We've been doing the best we can. But despite our efforts, things are slowly but surely falling apart.
And
It's agonizing. But ultimately,
brother,
we'd rather end things now on our own terms than stick it out to the bitter end and watch all our dreams turn to dust.
Oh.
that is sad, but you've been clearly at it without the director for a couple years now.
What a terrible waste. A gifted artist from humble beginnings who achieved so much and no doubt had much more to give. And then her life was so cruelly taken. I suppose it's fair to say then that this final show, besides being your farewell to the stage, is also your final gift for her?
Yes, exactly. We all miss her terribly.
Well, good thing I followed the traveler here. After hearing this tragic tale, I can no longer stand by and do nothing.
Oh? You're gonna join the troupe as
Furina?
director.
I know what you're thinking, but I by no means plan to cross the boundary I've set for myself. Besides, they're no longer looking for a replacement anyway. I can, however, provide some artistic guidance from the vantage point of a highly experienced audience member. But only if you feel this is something that would help, of course.
Oh,
Wow, she's
most
been-
definitely. We'll
What
take
the
any
fuck?
guidance
She's
that you can
so
give.
nice.
We unfortunately don't have any budget for a consultant, though. Will that be a problem?
I don't need any compensation. All I'd ask in return, if you're willing, is that you tell me some more about the life and work of your late director.
Oh wow.
Something I've begun to realize since my departure from the Opera Epiclese is that there's a lot you don't see when you observe everything from on high. The law only judges criminal behavior and does not weigh human emotion. The court's verdict can settle the question of criminal liability, but what about all the unresolved emotions of the parties involved? What happens to them?
Wow, Furina, you really went through a change of character. Like, damn, the Archon quest really fucked you up, didn't it? Damn, on one hand, I want to be sorry for, like, how I just put you on blast during the trial. Because I did put you on blast. I just straight up off the stage, right? But on the other hand, it clearly done you some good. Damn, girl.
An interesting answer. But if you ask me, I think all emotion shall ultimately return home to the heart and slowly settle with the passage of time. Take, par exemple, how this troupe pines for their late director. Things such as this I have never witnessed before, and so I should like to observe, perchance to understand.
Huh.
Still a fan of your old dramatic monologues then, huh? You
Uh,
just want to get back
habit.
in on the action, don't you?
Habit hard to get rid of.
No, this is a completely different situation. Pearls before swine.
The name's not Swine, it's Paimon!
Would you be willing to join me?
Paimons, you
Come
moron.
on, take a break from adventuring to listen to a story.
I'll do it
Thank
for
you
you.
all so much. Our director was a huge fan of Miss Furina's performances, as of course we all are. All right, follow me. We'll go to our usual practice space. Please excuse the size. It's a little on the smaller side.
Is it at Spina de Rasula's base? Are we going underground? No. Okay. Come on, Furina, let's go. Will this be a third quest where we see how a character gains their vision? Or will Furina just not get a vision through this quest? That's so... I am so curious now. Anyway. Suspicious lasagna. Where is it? There. Delicious. La latrea a focalo. Or however she said. She learns how to make... She actually learns how to make it. She actually does. Bruh. Character development. What the fuck? Am I in love with Furina? Oh, here. I think I'm falling in love with this character. What the hell? Little baby, yes. Oh, that is adorable. I love this. This reminds me of the Golden Apple Archipelago.
Lady Furina?
What's Lady Furina doing here?
Hello all. Allow me to explain. As of today, Miss Furina will be supporting our production of The Little Oceanid in the role of artistic consultant.
Little
These two over
Oceanid?
here are the ones that made it possible. They kindly reached out to Miss Furina on our behalf. I'm sure they need no introduction.
You bet! That was the trial of the century!
Which one?
You have to bring our director's murderer to justice. We can't
Ah,
thank
that
you
one.
enough.
No, it's cool.
Please don't mention it. We're just here to join in on the fun.
So, you were saying The Little Oceanid?
Yeah, that's the name of our final show. It's an unfinished script left behind by our director.
Oh.
One of our greatest regrets is that she never got to complete it. So, if we can bring it to the stage and make it a successful show, we can all take some solace in that.
Fair enough.
Wait, but if it's not finished, then...
Finding an actress was the least of your
Yeah.
problems.
We've been battling issues on every front, trying to realize this dream. Anyway, let me give you a quick summary of what the story's all about. The protagonist of the story is a young Oceanid who transforms herself into human form, despite the protests of her family.
Okay.
She longed to live just like any other human. And sure enough, she found friendship and even love. Everything seemed perfect. But one day, her true identity was exposed, and her world came crashing down around her.
So far, so good. A classic tale. But what happened after that?
That's one of the issues we've been trying to deal with. Unfortunately, this was as far as the director got with her script. We need a proper ending so we can bring this musical to the stage. But
So we just got the
we have
outline,
different
nothing else.
opinions on which direction to take it in.
We still haven't decided between a happy ending or a true-to-life tragedy.
Both sound good.
By true to life, you mean the director's sudden disappearance?
Yeah, like they say, truth is stranger than fiction. But then there's the question of whether we really want to use the stage to pass our raw pain onto the audience.
Well, it can make it bittersweet.
Exactly. A lot of the time, people come to watch a show just hoping for some light entertainment. We have to consider their emotional stake in this, not just our own. And one
How
last
about
thing.
make it sad but
We're
hopeful
still
for the
waiting
future?
on confirmation from two of our main actors. The first is Paulo, who plays the protagonist's lover. He's locked himself away to focus on writing an ending for the script. But the deadline's passed, and we still haven't heard from him. The other is Villemont, who plays the main antagonist. He took the director's death pretty hard. Hasn't set foot in the city since. He did write to us.
No, but this was
promising that
years
he'll be
ago.
there for the final performance, but we haven't seen or heard from him since. So we're not really sure what to make of that.
Although, now that we have Miss Furina helping us, maybe we should take the opportunity to get everyone back together.
No, I swear. Wasn't the thing with Callus and the Zero disappearance like couple of years before we showed up in Fontaine? Wasn't it supposedly like couple years beforehand? That's how they explain it. But from how they're saying this, it happened like half a year ago. It sounds like Callus's death and the whole serial disappearance case was couple months before we showed up. I am so confused on the timeline right now.
What opportunity? What do you mean?
Maybe you're unaware, but your name has always been like a rallying cry for us.
Fair enough. But okay, if they just wanted an unfortunate death outside of time it should have been, couldn't they have just, you know, like... Couldn't have they just said that their director was in Poisson when the seawater risen? It would have been much more relevant, it would have been closer in timeline, and it would suggest that they very recently went through a tragedy, and that's why they're in the state they're in right now.
Our director was constantly singing your praises. All of us look up to you as a role model.
Oh, stop. You're making me all flustered. Although, not in a bad way. I suspect the reason they're dragging their feet is that they have their doubts about whether the show will really go ahead, considering all the issues you've been facing. But one by one, all the obstacles are being removed. Now is the time to rally the troops.
You really
Makes
know how to
sense.
speak.
Okay, priority number 1. Let's check in with Paulo and see where he's at with the ending.
Yeah,
He went
let's
back
go.
to Poisson a few days ago. Said that staying in a friend's home might help him to relax and escape the feeling of isolation.
I thought the last thing his friend would want right now would be to take visitors, given that Poisson was flooded not too long ago. But I guess it's the opposite. A friend in need and all that.
Yeah, maybe he could use some company.
Poisson.
Bruh. Is something wrong? Well, yeah, it's something wrong. First of all, that's the place where we betrayed her. Second of all, that's the place she failed to protect.
Nothing. I suppose my presence will be indispensable if we are to restore his faith in the show. So, allons-y. To Poisson!
Man. Really. The timeline's a bit wonky with the use of the serial disappearance case. That dog is damn hungry, look at him. Hello.
If I remember correctly, this is where he's staying.
My name is
Who is it?
Loic.
It's me. Is the script ready?
You came all the way here for that?
Not
All
just.
right, forget that for now. Just come on out. We've got some great news.
I don't know if I'd call it
Fine.
great news.
Look, just give me some time, okay? I'm just wrapping up this last part of the script. I'll be out once I'm done.
Dude.
Okay then. Looking forward to your masterpiece.
Can I just kick down the door and drag him out? Because he's being a little
As
bitch.
expected, he's missed the deadline.
The ending is one of the most important parts of the show. Even once he's done, it isn't final until we've all had the chance to read through and make sure we agree on it.
True.
Someone told me they'd just seen you in Poisson. I assumed it was a case of mistaken identity, but sure enough, here you are. And Furina, too.
Oh, you don't sound happy.
I was wondering if we might run into her.
So, you're here for Paolo? Looks like he could be a while, so feel free to take a stroll around town in the meantime. I've made all the arrangements already.
You didn't have to,
Oh,
baby,
it's
but okay.
We can just wait here.
Thank you for being so considerate, Miss Navia. That sounds wonderful. We'll take that stroll. Get over here, you! How oblivious are you?
Bruh. Bruh.
How
Oh,
are
wow.
things in Poisson now? Any better?
Things are on the mend, but it's a slow process. Some people may never recover from the trauma they experienced.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Did you just come
I
here
wish
to
there
put
was
Furina on a
something I
blast?
could do.
Please, must our conversations take such a depressing turn every time we meet?
I mean, you're kind of
We'll
taking it
have
there.
painful memories. but we don't have to let them cloud everything we do. And if you're trying to make a new start, perhaps it's best if you don't bring up the past all the time.
Yeah, but you didn't sound really excited to see her here, you know, like, oh, it's you. And Furina. Like,
Here you are. And Furina, too.
come on, girl. Like, she clearly doesn't feel good seeing you because it brings back memories of the past all the time.
Thank you for your words of comfort. You make a very good point. But for now, at least, I think I should stay with the way I'm feeling for a while longer.
It's okay. These things take time. Moving on from a painful experience is easier said than done.
Can we take you to a therapist?
Brings me to why I'm here. I thought you should probably know that not everyone here is ready to forgive and forget after the Hydro Archon's inaction in the face of catastrophe.
It wasn't exactly
To avoid
inaction.
upsetting the peace, I told the townspeople that everyone here is a member of the theater troupe, and that you are just an actress playing the role of Furina. It's not a perfect solution, but hopefully it means you won't have to lie low while you're here.
Well, that's nice.
That's so thoughtful of you, Navia.
Well, what do you expect? I am the courageous and considerate president of Spina di Rosula, after all, like my father before me.
Yeah, but
Anyway,
she wasn't
that was all.
taking it in action.
Look after her now.
Got it, but she wasn't inactive. She was actively trying to do something. She just didn't know what. Neither did we, to be completely fair. All we did was put the girl on blast. Like, we just put her in front of everyone. Was like, you know what, bitch? We're roasting you today. Welcome to the Roast of Archon 2023. Like, you know. So I don't think we can really blame her for inaction.
Off we go
I'm so
then.
sorry.
Let's take a look up there. I don't have any friends that I can be frank and honest with, so maybe she's right. You're the closest thing to friends that I have.
Huh. I mean, I like you too. You're the closest thing to a friends that I have. That's sad. That's sad. Oof. Oof. I can
so
smell that
grateful
stink
that
eye.
Miss Nafia was so understanding. To be perfectly honest, I didn't know if I was ready to meet her.
You weren't.
It's always easiest to just run away from your problems. But that never fixes anything.
We know you run away from
the
problems.
obstacles without facing them.
So that's why you were nervous when they brought up Poisson.
Well, duh, Paimon, duh.
Yeah.
Get a message.
I'd be lying if I said I wasn't scared of coming back here.
Yeah, well, that's
Still,
understandable.
I felt it was something I had to do. As I was saying before, I want to see for myself the things that I never could in the past. I'd be overjoyed if the people here could find it in their hearts to forgive me. But they're more likely to unleash a tirade of vitriol against me. Which, of course, I completely understand and accept.
I'm sure some people didn't buy
Yeah.
Navi's lie.
I can tell people are watching me.
You can. They're not really hiding it.
I'm sure some people here see the idea of someone coming to Poisson dressed as the Hydro Archon as extremely disrespectful. I
Well,
used to be
yeah.
terrified of the gaze of other people, especially when they had suspicion or resentment in their eyes.
Bro, they really went out of
I
their way
guess
for
I
this.
wasn't quite ready for this after all.
I'm loving this
Surprised
character
you're making
development.
yourself go through all of this.
I mean, she's working. This is working on yourself. Like, she is actively working on yourself. She failed her nation, dropped to the lowest status she could possibly be in, and there are people that genuinely hate her and detest her for her actions before. Like, girl, and she's traumatized. The baby's traumatized. 500 years of loneliness and lying about who you are. Like, I'm shocked she's working on herself.
I can't let myself see only the things I want to see. how would that make me any different from before?
Look! There seems to be a crowd gathering over there.
Man,
Probably time we made a move.
yeah.
How about we check out Spina di Rasula's ship? We should have a view of the whole of Poisson from there.
I mean, I thought you didn't want to see look at things from above anymore. Oh, the crowd dispersed. But man, it's late, I am sleepy, I can't deny that, but man, I am loving this quest. Like, genuinely loving it.
I'm sorry. You probably just wanted a relaxing stroll. And here I am dumping all this heavy stuff on you.
Bitch, you think why we're here?
We don't mind. It's actually refreshing to see a different side of you.
You need to trauma dump sometimes.
Great. Well, I appreciate your company, so please don't disappear just yet.
No, baby
I
girl,
don't
I'm gonna stay
know
with you
whether
for a
you
while.
can tell, but the years of suffering and loneliness aren't the only reason I have a hard time facing up to who I used to be. As I stand here
Okay.
by the ship, I can't get the images of the rising water out of my mind. One after another, people were taken by the water. All those treasured lives and memories washed out of existence in an instant. They thought their god would protect them. They had absolute faith that when disaster struck, a divine power would save them from harm. And all the while, I played my part to perfection to convince them that was true. But then the floodwaters finally came, and the Hydro Archon did nothing.
You shouldn't look at it like that. You were only doing your duty.
And you didn't exactly have any, power. You were very much powerless.
I've had to go through so many moments like that for the sake of protecting the truth. As time went on, it got harder and harder to bear, and I became more lonely and isolated. Eventually, I realized I had nothing left except the truth. I became terrified of completely failing in my task, and was haunted by the thought of being left all alone, weeping on my throne. Fortunately, we were able to avoid the worst-case scenario thanks to the help of heroic individuals such as yourselves. Everyone rose to their responsibilities, and I finally regained my freedom. But on some level, freedom also means no longer being needed. I have no further use to people.
Paimon would have never imagined you'd see it that way.
Think of your freedom as your reward.
Reward?
Yeah, because now you can finally speak your heart. You don't have to be anguished and alone anymore.
I guess so. And back then, I didn't even dare to dream about having someone to confide in.
But now you
I
have
was
me, baby
scared
girl.
of someone recognizing me for who I truly was, and exposing
I mean,
the
I did.
secret I swore to protect.
I mean, I did.
Even the Furina you see on stage, she is the one you can trust.
I apparently didn't.
I had to keep
Exposed
all my
you
feelings,
completely.
all my curiosity about life to myself. No one could be allowed to know. That's what I really meant when I said I'm no good at maintaining relationships.
So that's where you were coming from. Paimon totally thought you were just a bit of a diva at heart.
Could you please get off my case? I don't know what's gotten into you today. I'm making an effort here. You could at least try to do the same.
Do you feel better having a... I mean, that's Paimon. She's just like that.
I do. I once had nothing but the truth, and now I'm finally free to live my own life again. And even though I have no idea where I'm going right now, at least the choice is in my hands.
Hell yeah,
Right.
baby girl.
It's about time to head back. Paulo should have finished the ending by now.
Sure. Okay,
You
let's
think?
head back and check it out.
Well. I'm sorry, people. I'm sorry I failed you. But I looked good doing it.
Didn't you say you needed to watch what you eat? You're supposed to be cutting down on fried foods, not wolfing down copious quantities of fish and chips, you know?
But fish and chips are
Come
good,
on.
bruh.
It's not every day we get to dine at Spina di Rosula's expense. Can you believe how generous she is? I'm not about to pass on free food. Anyway,
My
my character
man.
doesn't need to be slim and good-looking.
My man.
That's your job.
Are you kidding me right now? It's not your character's health I'm worried about, it's yours. I've spent my whole life battling the effects of ill health, and it kills me to watch you willingly ruin yours by filling yourself up with junk all the time.
Oh no, looks like they're arguing again.
I mean, they're good friends. That's why they do that. That's why they do that.
We're back. Could you maybe put your differences aside for a moment?
Ah, you're back. We've been enjoying Spina di Rosula's VIP treatment in your stead. Paulo's nearly done. We shouldn't have to wait too much longer.
Great! So you were discussing your characters, right? We heard she's playing the Oceanid who turns into a human girl. What about you?
Me?
A tree.
I'm an Oceanid too.
I play
He
a
was
tree.
originally supposed to take the form of a crane, but he outgrew that role. Well, the costume at least. So now he's playing the boar instead.
Sorry.
The boar's not a bad character, actually. He's the one who raises the little Oceanid, yes?
That's right. He has some pretty memorable lines too, like when he imparts some solemn words of wisdom to the little Oceanid. If you become human, you can reveal your secret to no one. You will face suffering and loneliness. Is this truly what you want?
Wait, that sounds kind of familiar.
It's the most important line in the whole script. I think it's a symbolic statement about our director's life and legacy. She kept quiet about all the trials and tribulations she faced in running our troupe, allowing us to devote ourselves fully to performing. It was only after she was gone that we realized how tough her job really was.
You mentioned earlier that the troupe is like your home.
Yeah. I was born with an incurable illness, and once my family found out it couldn't be treated, they decided they didn't want me anymore.
Oh my god, you were a
I
dumpster
spent some
baby.
years taking whatever work I could find and trying to manage
Wait,
my
how old
illness
were
with
you?
various medicines. But whenever I had a bad flare-up, I'd be lying in an alleyway for days at a time. It was like that until the director found me one day. She told me I had a great voice and asked if I was interested in studying singing from her. I said yes.
Your family learned you were sick and they just left you on a... They kicked you out of the house. They kicked you out of the house because treating your illness would be too expensive and you managed to live on a street. Girl, fighter much? Like I swear, if you were going to be dying on that street, you would most like from in hernia or something, like from getting too cold, right? You would probably just straight up get a pyrovision, like no joke. You would probably just straight up get a pyrovision, cause like, that's what happened to Bennett. That's kind of what happened to Bennett. But damn, girl. Your family just... Was it your parents or like were your parents dead already? Like, but bruh, that is horrible. What? How can you even smile?
She took me under her wing, taught me to both sing and act, helped me find Mora for my meds, took care of me when my condition decided to flare up. I know it was all a huge burden on her.
Want me to take you to Sumeru?
Sounds
Maybe
like
Nahida
a
can
really
help.
incredible person.
She really was. She gave everything she had to her troupe and the people in it. All of us were so proud to call her our director. I was a lost child too when she found me.
Oh, wow.
As the child of a murderer. My parents weren't around when I was little, so I got sent to an orphanage.
Huh.
The other kids were always picking fights with me. They'd say things like, "Come on, you must be pretty tough if you're the son of a murderer." It was just to taunt me, though. I was an easy target, and they knew it. One day,
okay, are we now
I
like
got
trauma
beaten up
dumping
so
or
bad that I just
comparing
couldn't take it
shitty
anymore.
childhoods?
So I ran away. I lost all faith in humanity by that point. Thought the whole world was out to get me.
Let me guess. Fortunately, the next person you ran into was the director.
No,
Yeah.
a rapist.
For the first time in my life, I was somewhere I felt safe. And I promised myself I'd stay here until the day the group parted ways.
The day you hoped would never come. How times change.
Oh, you're finally done? Get your butt over here. There's someone I need to introduce you to. This is our new artistic consultant, Miss Furina.
Furina? The Furina? Oh my god, how did you manage to wrangle that?
Please,
I'm not a dad,
the
I'm a
honor
person.
is all mine. I was profoundly moved to hear about your troupe and your wonderful director. I just wanted to do something to help.
Same here.
Even so, this is just... Oh, wow. I'm sorry. I'll try to calm down. Now, where was I?
Did you finish the script?
Yes, the script, of course. Let me give you a rundown of how the story unfolds in my version of the script.
Okay.
I'm sure you're already familiar with the beginning of the story. A little Oceanid decides she wants to become a human, against the wishes of her family.
Yeah.
She finds love and friendship in the bustling city. But then, disaster strikes. The people start to notice that all the fresh water in the surrounding area is slowly disappearing. The soil is becoming arid, plants and flowers are withering, and the people begin to panic. The little
Okay.
Oceanid, Cleo, and her lover decide to do something about it, and investigate the truth of the matter together.
She looks like
In
one of
the
the
end,
Oceans we met.
They discover that all the waste and pollution created by humans over the years has caused the fresh water to flee the land, as if driven by a consciousness of its own.
Consciousness? You mean the water is sentient?
Water as a conscious entity. There's actually quite a few stories that explore this theme.
Are
Since
there?
the little Oceanid is a water spirit, she immediately understands how the water is feeling. She then tells her lover about her true identity, as well as the truth behind the crisis.
Okay.
Her lover accepts her for who she is, and works with her to find a way to bring the water back. However, unbeknownst to them, there were some people eavesdropping when she revealed her secret.
Oh
The
no.
little Oceanid is accused of being directly responsible for driving the water away, and faces the greatest dilemma of her life.
And then?
In the end, she makes the brave decision to sacrifice herself to save her lover, and the rest of humanity.
Bro, the whole of humanity, a
But
city.
didn't they all treat Cleo like a villain? Why would she want to save them after that?
Well, she mainly wanted to save her lover, plus everyone who'd stood up for her.
Through her love for her human partner, she was able to find an even greater love, one that extended to all of humanity. Surely the biggest strength of Cleo's character.
Is someone to
actually
take their own
something else
horn?
that bothers me. You know
Tell
the
me.
protagonist is supposed to represent the director, right? And she never had the chance to become a hero in our world. If we're serious about dedicating this show to her memory, we should make the ending as true to life as possible. What about if the little Oceanid is hounded to death by people who hate her, her lover makes sure her secret never gets out, and humanity continues down the path to extinction?
That sounds like too cruel of an ending to me. And perhaps a little irresponsible to present to the audience.
That ending would be a perfect mirror to Director Aureli's death, both arbitrary and meaningless. On the day when she went missing, Director Aurelie had instructed us all, somewhat out of the blue, to leave the court of Fontaine and wait for her outside the city.
Oh.
We waited and waited at the rendezvous point, but she never came. By the time we returned to the city, she disappeared without a trace. We looked for her. The Gardamex looked for her, but she was nowhere to be found. Increasingly, all the signs seemed to point to her being the latest victim in the serial disappearances case.
The director was the kindest soul in the world. Yet she was senselessly sacrificed for the sake of a so-called experiment by someone who had nothing to do with her at all.
But doesn't the way she suddenly told you to leave the city suggest that maybe she had some sense of what was about to happen? It almost seems as if she was moving you to safety.
I've been trying to follow up on that ever since, but all my efforts so far have turned up nothing. Villemont might know something, but he won't open up to me.
Oh.
Villemont? The one who's
Hint
playing
dropped.
the role of the villain?
Yeah. He's been overwhelmed by grief. I think the director's death hit him hardest of all.
Grief? Guilt, more like. Also, I have a hard time imagining that anyone took it harder than me. Because, well, speaking of the play being true to life, I was deeply, madly in love with Aurelie.
What? You kept that one quiet.
I
It's
thought
time
she
to
would be
get
like,
from
oh,
you
we
all.
knew.
No more keeping secrets from each other. We'll never be able to agree on the ending if we can't be honest about how we feel.
Okay.
I did tell her how I felt once.
They're going for their own
She
episode
turned me
there.
down
aren't they?
pretty much straight away.
Oh, wow.
She said that we were all like brothers and sisters to her, and she'd never considered us as potential romantic partners.
Huh.
Not that it came as a shock or anything. It was what I was expecting to hear. So I told her I'd always be there for the troupe, and I'd always be there for her. I said, maybe one day in the future, when everyone's settled into their own lives and on the up and up, and managing the troupe no longer required her constant attention, well, maybe then she could reconsider what she really wanted in her life. And now, that day will never come.
I'm so sorry.
Hollow.
When I go to the
So if
fountain
I'm the
to
one
speak with
writing
her,
this ending, then I'm gonna make sure it does right by Aurelie. I won't let anyone get in the way of that.
In that case, you have to straighten things out with Villemont once and for all, face to face. We've all had our differences of opinion over the ending, but those two have never seen eye to eye on anything. One of them has to compromise if we're ever going to reach a final decision.
Well, if that's where we're at, looks like it's time to go visit Villemont.
Are you ready to face the truth?
Honestly, I'm slightly terrified. But for the sake of our final performance, I'll do whatever it takes. Funny you should ask, though. You really do get what I'm going through right now.
I certainly do. Come on, everyone. Allons-y!
what the fuck does that mean? Well, where are you, dude?
This is tough going. Delphi, are you sure you can manage in your condition?
You're the fat one.
I could ask you the same question. Try to keep up.
Bruh. Move it, fat ass. God. Body shaming. Whoop, whoop.
Ugh,
Hey, didn't we
I think
come from that
this
direction?
journey wasn't tough enough already without a roadblock.
No.
Don't worry. We should all be fine with the traveler here. We don't need to take a detour. Wait, why are you all looking at me? You're not seriously expecting me to fight, are you?
We're just curious, that's all. I don't think anyone's ever seen Furina in a fight before.
I mean, she doesn't have powers.
But don't you remember why? The Hydro Archon willingly gave up all her powers so it could be converted to As Furina said so herself.
That's fake.
Precisely. And I'm not not even the Hydro Archon anymore, so all my power is gone anyway.
Yeah, just a
As
human.
much as it pains me, unfortunately, I should just stay put. I'm more like a damsel in distress more than anything.
Bro, that face.
So smug. Ugh, secondhand embarrassment is unbearable.
C'est la vie.
C'est la vie indeed. Alas, I'm forced to watch on helplessly as a more brave and seasoned adventurer than I swoops in to save the day.
Aw, too bad. I was so pumped to feast my eyes on fight mode Furina.
There
Sorry
isn't
to
one.
leave all the heavy lifting to you.
Don't worry, piece of cake.
Fight mode Furina, let's go.
Strike a pose by royal decree.
The royal decree. Yeah.
Time for takeoff. Bravo! Good show. You certainly live up to your reputation.
Cold.
Yeah, thank you. Anyway, the path is cleared now, so onwards and upwards.
Onwards and upwards.
Vilma, are you there?
Huh?
Bro lives in a shack.
Wait,
Dude,
Lady
you
Furina
live in a
doing here?
shack.
I can explain. We've been rounding up the whole troop. We now
I
have
joked that
everyone except
Furina lives
you.
in a shack behind Palais Memoria, but turns out Vilmont is.
So, you think knowing the truth about the director's disappearance will help you write an ending to the script that pleases everyone?
Yes. Buzzcut.
I care just as much as everyone else about making the Little Oceanid a success. That's why I wanted to wait until after the show. If I open this can of
please.
worms now, I just don't want to make things difficult between us. We're supposed to be a unit when we're on stage.
Yes.
Avoiding the truth will not help anyone. Unless you mean to suggest that Aurelie's death had something to do with you.
Ooh.
I don't want to talk about it.
Fucking talk about it.
Listen,
Gas pipe to the
Vimo.
throat.
I used to think that my love for Aurelie was a point of shame. I never brought it up to anyone. But now, I've made up my mind to put it all on the table. I'm prepared to face everything, to sacrifice everything for the sake of the show. The Little Oceanid cannot be complete unless we do justice to Aurelie on an emotional level.
This is why people think of you as not being the smart one. As you all know already, the troupe was kept afloat not from ticket sales, but donations from the audience.
Yeah.
Of course, that was nowhere near enough. We took on side jobs when we weren't performing, but even then, the troupe's financial situation was pretty dire. So, anyway, one day after a show, a merchant came to me and offered us a huge sponsorship. In return, we just had to provide the audience with their drinks during performances. It seemed like a win-win, so I said yes to it on the spot without consulting the director. It was only
Okay.
when the merchant came to deliver the goods that I realized the drink in question was synth.
Oh. Oh.
Isn't that the drink peddled by the culprit behind the serial disappearances case?
Yeah, the one that's basically drugs. Like, the dude straight up just brought like liquid cocaine as refreshments in a theater. What the fuck?
I freaked out when I saw the boxes. And
Who-
I told the director everything right away.
Who would
She
think
was
it's a good idea
completely
to
shocked as
just...
well.
What
But
the
she
fuck?
didn't reprimand me for making the decision without consulting her. Instead, she contacted the merchant and stated that the troupe could not agree to this collaboration.
Like, what the fuck, dude? That was straight up leak. Who would do that?
The merchant was furious, berated us for going back on our word, and threatened to sue us for damages. The amount was astronomical. There was no way we'd be able to pay.
And then,
I was going to sort it on my own, but the director stopped me. She said that this was an issue for the whole troupe, and it wasn't my fault.
Oh, good director.
But things only got worse from there. The synth merchant just wouldn't let up, and then suddenly the director told us all to leave the city one day. I knew then that things must have reached a boiling point. I admit this whole thing was my mistake. I didn't dare to tell any of you the truth back then, and after the director disappeared, I was even more afraid to say anything.
It's understandable.
Yeah, I got Aurelie killed. There, I said it. Happy now?
Yeah.
Hey, don't say
Jail.
that.
You traitor! You knew Aurelie was in danger. Why in God's name didn't you tell us? What do you mean, you were afraid? This was a life and death situation. We could have saved her! How could you be so stupid?
Please, try not to get too worked up.
Too late.
Yeah, listen to him. You need to stay calm.
Stay calm? How can I stay calm? This guy got Aurelie murdered! She was the love of my life! And he has the gall to try and high-road us, claiming that he kept his mouth shut for the sake of the show! How about taking some responsibility for what he's done?
All I can say is I'm sorry. Truly. I wanted to apologize to everyone in the troupe, but that won't bring back the director. What good is my apology now? I'm
Not
just
much.
a coward who made an awful, terrible mistake that I can never take back. Beat me up if you want. Kill me if you prefer. It's what I deserve. End my life. So I can meet the director and apologize to her in person.
Do it.
Get out of my sight! Go! Get lost! I don't ever want to see your face again!
I mean, he did get lost.
enough.
He left the
You've
city.
screamed and shouted at each other for long enough. Now pipe down, both of you. Can you stop conflating the show on stage with your real-life relationships in the troupe? You keep saying that you want to use this final performance to pay tribute to your director and celebrate her life. How can you do that if you're just using it as an excuse to vent your own emotions?
You're right.
Bruh.
I'm sorry.
On stage, the lead role is the focal point of the audience's attention. And you're all used to seeing the director as the heart of the troupe. But in her own life, her greatest desire wasn't to be the center of attention. I can tell how much she loved you all, and how much she loved the troupe. What she wanted was to build a warm home for all of her brothers and sisters. To shield you all from the storms that rage in the world outside. That's how you should remember her. And that's what you should be celebrating. I understand why you're trying to make her the hero of the story, but isn't she your hero already? After everything she did for you?
Yeah.
So think hard about what that means. And then think again about what you hope to achieve by arguing with each other. If you
Nothing.
really hate each other and can't reconcile your differences, then you could just call it quits now. Why bother with the final performance if the group is already fractured? But you can't bring yourself to do that, can you? You care too much about Director Aurelie and the home she built you all to let go. What are you laughing at? I don't see what's so funny.
You're acting like a
Sorry,
mom.
I didn't mean it that way. It's just that, for a moment there, it felt like our director was back with us again. If
Aw.
she'd seen Paulo and Vilmont at each other's throats like that, she would have scolded them exactly like you did, in that same stern voice.
Really?
Mom.
But she sounded like such a gentle person.
Of course she was. Even her harshest lectures came from a place of kindness, and it showed. She really was a truly outstanding person.
What you said, it really puts everything into perspective.
I'm truly sorry. I really meant for this to be a genuine apology, but I ended up making it all about me and my self-pity.
It's all right.
You did.
Let's save all this for after the performance.
So, the ending. What are we gonna do about it?
Clearly, everyone needs to take a step back for now and reflect on what really matters. When emotions are running high, things get lost in the fray.
So what?
The
Furina
end
is
of the
gonna
story needs to
join the
focus
crew.
back on Aurelie herself. She's the true star of the show.
She's gonna
What do
become
you
the new
mean?
director, isn't she?
The Traveler is right. You once investigated that underwater synth base and recovered items belonging to the victims.
Oh yeah,
If
we
you could
did.
find anything that Aurelie left behind, perhaps we can get a better sense of what she went through in her final days.
We did
You
do
really
that, didn't
think
we?
that's possible?
I trust that nobody would object to the ending of the story being based on Aurelie's true feelings.
No.
Well, we'll leave this in your capable hands.
Well, then
Come,
I guess we're going
let's
for the
pay a
thing.
visit to the Palais Mermonia.
No.
The rest of you, head back to the rehearsal location for now and wait for our good news.
Sick. Let's go. Palais Memonia. Ooh, she's gonna rise up quite a stir when she shows up, isn't she? Nouvelle. No need to bow. Oh, you're not bowing. God damn it. Well. Oof.
You want to
Awkward.
review some recovered items connected to victims of the serial disappearances case? But, that case has been closed for quite a while now.
Like 2
Still,
months.
since you were the ones who discovered and submitted the evidence in the first place, you don't actually have to submit an application. Okay, please hold on. I'll have someone dig them out.
Ah, wonderful. Since stop points to achieve the box of Aurelius form of
So,
belongings.
this is all Aurelie left behind.
That
Just
she got on
whatever
her.
she was carrying on her person and this tattered old notebook.
Hey! It's full of script lines! And sketches too! Looks like they show where the different props should be placed on stage.
Aww.
Let me take a look. Maybe there's something in here from after she was kidnapped.
After.
Aha! I found something. To whoever discovers this diary. Let's see. Looks like she kept a detailed record of her captor's actions. She even mentions the truth behind the experiments on dissolving young women.
How did we not
If we'd
find
had the
that?
chance to examine this notebook carefully back then, it would have been a conclusive piece of evidence proving Vachey's guilt.
Vachey took so many lives. It's still so unthinkable how many victims he had.
Sorry, no.
I guess Aurelie must have written all of this down in the hope that her records would one day be of use to investigators.
That's good of her.
Wait, it cuts off. Her
Something wrong?
handwriting here gets patchier and more illegible by the line. She probably didn't have much strength left. Her
Jesus.
final words are... I'll let you read them for yourselves.
What the fuck is written there, Furina? Like, someone else was taken. That makes 6, or perhaps the 7th. Someone tried to escape yesterday but was caught. She hasn't been seen since. Was that yesterday? Maybe not. I've long since lost track of time. Sorry, I don't know if writing this so many years or how much longer I can do it for. How did you have ink for that? I don't think you guys have pens. You would have a quill or something with ink. I can already see my fate approaching, but what terrifies me even more is the thought of seeing others from the troop here. Have I truly protected them? Sorry. I'm so sorry. I can write no more. I think I have a fever and my old stomach troubles have returned, but nobody has given me any medicine. I suppose I am more fortunate than Chrysy. The pain keeps her awake all night. I suppose they think that anything goes as long as experimental subjects can be used up before they die. It is so damp here. I have given my blanket. So cold, so cold, so cold. As long as one persists, all things will pass. There will be a reward for hard work. I like to tell them such things, but it is I who am losing my grip. If anyone sees this, troop, safe. I am important. Please, farewell, apologize. Life, perform, future, regret, Cleo. This page is an absolute mess, and the writer's pen seems to have wandered into the surface at random. Only some words can be made out, and barely at that. From this page onwards, the diary stops to be replaced with lyrics from musicals. Some are in the form of newspaper clippings, others are handwritten with many crossing outs and changes. It appears that the pages have been referenced often, and this was the personal notebook of artistic director Aurelie. Damn.
She
That
was
is-
so terrified.
That was hard to read. She watched the girl get dissolved right in front of her, and had to wait for her own death
She
in
may
silence.
have been a mighty hero in the eyes of her troop, but at the end of the day, she
was
was
a normal skid
only
person.
human. I can't bear to think how painful and lonely her final days must have been. Wait. This part on the last page sounds strangely familiar.
What is it? Flipping through the notebook, the lyric continues. However, one page has been torn out, folded up and placed next to the last blank page. At the bottom of the folded note are 2 new lines Aurelie has written, in handwriting much more legible than before, but it seems that they took her both great effort and a great deal of time to write. If you become human, you can reveal your secret to no one. You will face suffering and loneliness. Is this truly what you want? Because I am an older sister to them. I love them. Huh.
If you become human, you can reveal your secret to no one. You will face suffering and loneliness.
That's the big line
Is
from
this
before.
still what you want?
Isn't that the most important line in the Little Oceanid?
Yes, Paimon, you got that.
Because I am an older sister to them.
Oh.
So she didn't regret her decision. Even as she sat in silence, waiting for death to come. I'm sure this is what the troupe would have hoped to hear as well. She had their utmost trust, admiration, and love, and she truly deserved it.
Let's bring the notebook to them and see
Let's
who
go.
breaks down first.
It's time for them to learn Director Aurelie's final thoughts.
I'm sorry, it's just fun. You give them the guy, and he just breaks down completely. He's just gone. He's just gone.
Strike a pose. Don't look at me. Oh, Rebelier.
After reading through the notebook, some are lost for words, some weep bitterly, and some grind their teeth and howl with rage. A long time passes before the group is able to calmly come together and finally make a decision.
She deserves a hero's farewell. If that's the only way to convey to the audience the courage and selflessness that she showed in the face of death, then it's a meaningful way to end the story.
Even in the last moments of her life, she was still leaving a trail for others to follow.
She did her best to protect as many people as possible, even if it meant sacrificing herself. We
Yeah.
know what choice our little Oceanid would have made now. I don't think any more discussion is necessary. Well, Vilmont, if we put the past aside for now, do you think you can bring yourself to go ahead with the show?
You
I will
better,
channel
bitch.
all my regret and put it into my performance to make this a show worthy of our director.
Good.
I won't ask for your forgiveness, and you don't need to worry about my feelings. This final farewell show should be about Director Aurelie and her alone.
Then it seems like we've reached a consensus. I have a feeling that this will turn out to be the most mesmerizing performance of your lives.
Really? How can you be so sure when you've never even seen them perform before?
Guess.
Don't underestimate my experience. After watching a countless number of musicals,
500
I've learned
years of
one
it.
important
Yeah.
thing.
Makes
If
sense.
you want to move the audience with your music, you must fully commit and immerse yourself in your role, pouring all your emotion into your performance.
Fair.
And aren't human emotions love, hate, regret, and hope just the most mesmerizing things in this world?
I don't believe anybody could be more committed to bringing this story to life on the stage than they are now.
Thank you
yeah.
for the vote of confidence, Miss Furina.
You know what? Yeah.
And thank you for
Well,
supporting us through all this.
She's
Then, let's not
she's
delay
such a
things any
different
longer.
character than before.
We need to discuss the details of the ending and get it nailed down once and for all.
She's nothing
Actually,
like Aqua.
before that, I'd like to make a proposal.
Oh?
During the curtain call, please allow me to use the director's name instead of my own.
Okay.
But then...
After all, this role was originally meant to be played by the director. I'm just filling
Oh.
in for her.
Was it?
Besides, a role commemorating her life should be associated with her name.
Well,
Sure.
if you're sure you're okay with that, I have no objection to it.
Makes some sense.
Now we're talking like a serious acting troupe. All right, I'll leave you to fine-tune your musical while I go and procure a stage.
Oh, you will?
Procure a stage?
Oh my god. Opera
Oh,
Epiclese?
it's okay. Our usual place doesn't need a reservation.
No,
That
no, no.
place? Oh, don't be silly. For an extraordinary show, we need an extraordinary stage. By which I, of course, mean the Opera Epiclese.
Yep.
Whoa, wait, what?
Yep.
No. That's never going to work. It's far too fancy for the likes of us.
Yeah,
What are you
we're just
afraid
poor
of?
peasants.
Surely you don't think that Aurelie's story is unworthy of the grandest stage in Fontaine.
That's not what we said. We were just
No,
peasants.
That's not what I meant.
It is supposed to be your grand finale, right?
Go big or go home.
I have no problem with it then. How about the rest of you?
Once in a lifetime occasion, boys. Once in a lifetime.
I'll take your silence as a yes. Thank you for giving us this opportunity.
Well, it's not
It
confirmed
really is
yet.
a dream come true.
We're gonna try.
Then don't disappoint me. If you mess this up, it'll reflect poorly on me too. Come on. We'll need to get the go-ahead from Nervilette.
To his
I
own,
know
they're just
where to find
dreadful. They're just dreadful. It's like that. It's like that meme with the with the kids in theater singing. Turn around. Every now and then I get a little bit. No. It just turns into that.
Look at that. Looks like I guessed right.
Huh. Well, you know him for like 400 years. Yes.
I knew you'd be here.
I'm here merely for a short break. It has been a while, Miss Furina. And you too, traveler in Paimon. What might I assist you with today?
I
We
would
want
like
the
to
opera
book the
epiclese.
Opera Epiclese for an event. You see...
You share the story of the little oceanit with Neuvillette along
I
with the backstory.
understand. The process for booking the Opera Epiclese is complex and can be somewhat cumbersome. But given that the request is coming from the three of you, I see no reason to make things unduly difficult.
Ayo,
The story
connections
of
in
the
high
little
places.
Oceanid is most fascinating. I'm looking forward to seeing it performed on stage. I will say, however, that I am surprised to see your passion for the performing arts rekindled after all that has happened.
What do you mean? Do I look excited?
I mean, you were smiling.
And this is the first time that I've seen you like this since your departure from deityhood.
At first, I just felt bad about rejecting them. So I wanted to learn a little bit more about their situation. But one thing led to another, and...
We're here.
Well, here we are. In the past, we sat in our high chairs in the court, giving our opinions on isolated cases, all while knowing very little about the human stories behind each and every one. Maybe it's because I finally become an ordinary person and gained my freedom, but I've developed a great sense of curiosity about their lives.
I am truly delighted to see you find a new lease on life. Now that you've regained some confidence, have you had any thoughts regarding a return to the stage?
A big fat no.
Would you suddenly ask a question like that?
Well, if the Little Oceanid turns out to be a great success, it will no doubt become a classic. Many theater companies are certain to add it to their repertoire. The experiences and decisions of the protagonist, Cleo, are all modeled after your own. Naturally, this makes you eminently suited to playing the leading role. It would truly be a shame if you did not take this opportunity to allow audiences to enjoy your outstanding acting talents once more.
No, stop
Haven't
that.
I already
Stop
made
that.
myself clear? I won't act or perform in any role ever again. No exceptions. Nor do I think it is any great shame. There is no lack of fine actors or inspirational stories, either on or off the stage. This experience is a case in point. I feel like I've learned a lot, and it has already been well worth the price of admission. I must admit, though, I'm a little envious. They're quite fortunate to be able to bid farewell to their past in such a magnificent manner.
I see. Well, I'm glad to learn that you have found a role to play that you enjoy, be it on the stage or not. I sincerely hope the show will serve as the grandest of finales. I will have my staff book the date and mail the relevant paperwork to the troupe once the details are confirmed.
Thanks, Nervalette.
I swear she
You
said
are
it with an
very
R.
welcome.
With an R. Nervalette. Well, I'll go bring the good news.
Good news, everyone. It's done. The Opera Epiclese is booked. Thanks to my eloquent and impassioned speech, Monsieur Nervalette was moved to provide us with a fitting stage for this special performance. We've had to fight every step of the way for this opportunity, but we now have all of the ingredients necessary to stage a truly spectacular performance.
Okay, I want to bet.
A
I'm
touching
placing a bet
story.
right now.
A magnificent
No.
venue, and last but
her,
not least,
her.
a passionate
She will
and
fall
dedicated
sick
cast.
again,
Now,
and Furina will
let's
have to get
work
on stage.
together and make this show the best it can be.
This is truly wonderful.
The sooner we can finalize the ending, the more time we'll have to rehearse. Fiamma and I just went over some parts of the script and tweaked a few things. I think it's really going to resonate with the audience now.
Good.
Wow, you two had a constructive conversation? That's great!
Constructive
Communication is vital to any good performance.
And he only called me a bitch 5 times.
Look at us. We've come so far.
And what ass
I
hat?
never could have pictured this scene a few days ago.
It's amazing! Even though Furina's still being a bit of a drama queen about it all, she's really fired everyone up!
Please
Who's
feel
a
free to
drama
give us any
queen?
comments or suggestions you have. We really value your input.
Hey, Loic, get over here. Time to practice the opening number.
Aww. That's adorable. Will we get to see the show? Like, will we get to see the show?
Cursed Cleo.
Oh, yeah.
She stole the waters of life from us. She's a fraud, and she must pay for her crimes.
Well, you made some nice decorations.
This has
what the
nothing
fuck?
to do with her. The ignorance and hatred of our people is to blame. How can we hope to win back the water's favor if we don't change our ways?
This guy could be useful. Take him hostage. If Cleo wants him back, she'll have to show herself.
Well, this is
Leave
a
this
nice
place,
fountain.
oh little Oceanid, and never, ever look back!
How are we getting that fountain off the stage, though? Like, you're not changing sets? That hair
Everyone's
does make it
really
look like an
throwing
outfit.
themselves into their roles. I haven't seen such a fine performance in a long time. If only.
What
If
should
only.
we do? It's almost time for her to take the stage!
Why? Why
There
does
we
it
go.
have to be now?
Called it.
Hey, what's going on? You're due on stage any second now.
Illness.
Oh no, not again. But why? What about your new meds? Did they stop working?
They've been getting less and less effective over time. I've had to keep increasing my dose.
Jeez.
What? I thought they cure it. So they were only managing your symptoms?
I figured whatever it took to get me through this final performance.
How could you do this to yourself? And after that lecture you gave me about not looking after my health.
I'm sorry. I've let everyone down.
Yeah, you did. Shit.
This is a conversation for another time. How can the show go on without its star performer?
By the way, I called it. I called it.
Miss Furina, I'd like to make a request of you.
Say no more. If you're sick, you need to rest. I know what you're going to ask. Loic, your character has no more scenes, correct?
Oh, yeah. I think my scenes are all done. Although, I do have one more line. But I guess another guy in the troupe with a similar voice register could take it. Why?
Please take Delphi back to her place to rest. I'll sing the finale. From the sublime to the ridiculous. After all that, everything's come full circle.
Thank you, Miss Furina. I'm so sorry to put you in this position after everything you said.
Never mind. What's done is done. It's really my own fault for getting in too deep. No one likes regrets, myself included. Leave it to me. I've watched you rehearse so many times that I've learned Cleo's part by heart.
I do not doubt your acting skills, but please allow me to ask just one more question. After all, this show is dedicated to the life and legacy of our director. What, in your opinion, is the reason Cleo shines so brightly?
Oh, Jesus.
It's her pure heart.
Pure heart. Her pure heart. Bruh.
Despite all the pain and loneliness she had to endure, she never once stopped believing in the beauty in this world.
Well said. I leave Director O'Reilly in your hands.
Aw, cute. Okay, good luck, Furina. You're breaking your freaking promise of yourself. Will she get the vision on stage? Christ. Back on stage you are, in the opera epic class, no less. What's the fucking luck, girl?
Is she here yet?
Will she get here?
She's not coming!
You're wrong. She's here.
Damn.
Si je pouvais vivre dans l'eau, le monde serait-il plus beau? Me pardonneras-tu, ô chère mère? L'eau dans son courant fait danser nos vies, et la cité elle nourrit, ainsi que toi, mon doux amour.
But what about your wish?
My wish.
If you become human, you can reveal your secret to no one. You will face suffering and loneliness. Is this truly what you want?
Le grand amour ne suffit pas, seul un adieu fleurira. C'est notre histoire de vie, douce et amère. Moi, je suis, serai toujours là, à voir le monde et sa beauté.
Wow. Wow, I literally got chills. What the... Yo, and that's... Wow. Oh my... That was so good. What the fuck? That song was so good.
Is it just me? Or was that Lady Furina on the stage just now?
Oh my god.
She hasn't been seen for a while now, and she just appears out of nowhere? Gotta say, though, her acting skills are as superb as ever.
The little
Whoever was it
Oceanid,
singing, that
Cleo,
was...
played by Aurélie Fumont.
Wait, that's not her name. What's going on?
I don't know. Maybe it's just a doppelganger.
I've spent a lot of time out of the spotlight, and they didn't use my name during the curtain call either. Hopefully, not too many people recognized me. It's too bad that I had to break the one clear rule I'd managed to make for myself, even if I had no choice. Still, I have to admit that, despite everything, it felt good to be back on the stage again.
Finally, we would like to give a special thanks to our artistic consultant and event coordinator, Miss Furina.
Bruh.
That's not what we agreed on!
Putting her on blast.
Oh, so it was Furina after all.
She's back!
Honestly, what is he doing? He should have run that by me first.
All right, calm down, don't be mad. This was a group decision. We just didn't want your contributions to go unacknowledged. After all, it's been the rule in Fontaine since ancient times that everyone's work, visible or invisible, is equally deserving of recognition.
Yes, I know the rule, but it should still be applied on a case-by-case basis. I wasn't ready for this yet.
It's no big deal.
And
What's the
mid-show,
worst that could happen?
she mid-show got a freaking Hydra vision. Like, did nobody notice that? Did nobody notice mid-thing she got a Hydra vision?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
well,
look
since you
at-
think it's so easy, you can sign them for me.
This is a great chat and all, but can we talk about that crazy thing that happened during the show? It nearly gave Paimon a heart attack.
Yeah, getting a vision.
Flew over to where she was supposed to be and was about to drop the prop vision, and then suddenly, a real one popped out of thin air!
Oh, that.
Yeah, congrats, you have Hydra
I've
again.
got no idea what happened there either. But hey, it worked pretty well, didn't it? I'll bet the audience has
did.
never seen such a realistic prop.
Because it's the real one.
Wait, what about Dulphy? I wonder how she's doing.
Oh, let's go check on her as soon as we finish clearing the stage.
Yes. Plus, she'll definitely want to hear how the end of the show went. If nothing else, we can safely say that we accomplished what we set out to do.
Yep. Yep. Well, bruh. The stage is cleared. There's a lot of people. Kirimoto. What's up, Kirimoto?
Did anyone see where Miss Furina went? Oh, I want to get her autograph, but I can't find her anywhere.
Okay, Kirimoto.
I thought Cleo's actress sang very well. Why did they swap her out at the end?
I don't know. Maybe that's just how it was scripted.
It wasn't. So she just went for the last scene, not even the whole show. Okay. Yeah, because I was curious about that, like, but apparently she just went for the last scene. Higher? What? How do you want me to go higher? So?
Ah, you're back. She's doing okay. Her condition stabilized after taking some of her original medication. From experience, though, I'd say she still needs a few more days of rest.
How did the performance go? Was it a success? Did the audience like it?
You'll be glad to know it was fantastic! Also, you're not gonna believe what happened while Furina was on the stage. You'll probably be able to read all about it in the Steambird first thing tomorrow morning.
That's wonderful. I'm so sorry I failed to see it through to the end. I guess I was wrong to try and tough it out to begin with.
No, don't worry about it. Like they told me after announcing my name during the curtain call, everyone's work deserves recognition. Even though you couldn't see it through to the final scene, the audience was very impressed by your performance. It's safe to say that you made your mark on this memorial show.
Well, one way or another, we did it. I've had bad luck ever since I was born, so I never expect things to go smoothly in life. I'm just happy to know that we went out on a high note. That's all that matters.
Blaming your bad luck again, are we? Maybe if you didn't push yourself past your limits so much, your illness wouldn't be flaring up all the time.
Oh, don't you start. I don't have the energy to argue with you right now.
He has a point.
Aw, you two clearly care a lot about each other.
Are those two fucking? Will these two fuck?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You mean we never stop arguing with each other?
But from love. Even Paimon sees through it.
Any plans for the next step? After the brilliant performance you put on, the reputation of your troupe is sure to spread through Fontaine like wildfire. You won't have to disband if you don't want to.
We can't without a
You
director.
could capitalize on the rave reviews and license out the little Oceanid to the bigger theater troupes out there. That would do wonders for your financial situation.
No, we should still disband.
Yeah, it's what we all agreed to.
After all that's happened, I should give you guys some space. But maybe our paths will cross again one day.
Hey, don't just walk off!
I genuinely thought Furina would take this part of the director for them.
I still want to keep performing, so I might join another troupe. After watching Miss Furina's performance, I think I'm starting to understand our director's infatuation with musicals.
That much?
You should do it. It suits you. I'd originally hoped to keep performing too, but I don't know if my health will allow me to.
Oh, so now you finally got your priorities in order. I guess I'll hold off until you've properly recovered as well. What about you, Miss Furina? Any future plans?
Well, frankly, I think a return to obscurity is no longer an option for me. I'm sure a slew of consultancy requests will hound me wherever I go, until I finally acquiesce. You rather sealed my fate there with your special thanks at the end of the show.
Sorry.
Yeah, I should have thought through that, shouldn't you?
It's quite all right. No need to apologize. What I meant to say is that this whole experience has shown me that perhaps I'm not as averse to a return to the stage as I previously imagined. Maybe Neuvillette was right. Maybe Cleo is the right role for me. I still don't wish to pretend to be someone else, but I do have a desire to express myself. So, maybe the show will go on for me after all.
There's no need to draw the line, that's Anne. Just do whatever it feels like.
There was
Feels right.
once a time when I was an actress in a masquerade, seeking only to hide the truth. But from now on, I want to spend my time learning real stories about real people and how they touch the lives of others around them. I want to watch them blossom and wither, see them refined on the page, retold on the stage, and remembered long into the future. I'm sure this is what captivated director O'Reilly as well.
Sounds like you're ready to stop running from your true calling. The more you get out into the world, the more you'll discover what a fascinating place it is.
Next time I'll want you to join me.
Then it's a deal. If a vision is a gift from the gods, then I should do my best to honor it.
That was nice. That was really nice. Bruh. Well, lore accurate. Lore accurate Furina. So, what's up?
It's ironic to think that in my whole time as a god, I could only ever dream of receiving this kind of power. And now that the gods have given me their blessing, it actually feels more like I'm finally able to take my fate in my own hands.
I mean, that's kind of what visions are for.
Is that how humans feel about it as well?
Yeah. Yeah, kind of. So are these two going to fuck or not?
I'm just finishing packing up. As soon as I'm done, I've got an interview with the Steambird to get to.
Bro, already?
Thanks to all your help, the show was more perfect than we ever could have hoped for. But most of all,
good for you.
I want to thank you for giving me the chance to finally say farewell to Aurelie.
Oh. I'm glad she got closure out of that.
I mean, of course I have some regrets, but...
There'll be plenty of opportunities in the future for us to tell the stories that we want on stage.
I love he thinks about the future with her together. Like, it's not for you, like for us.
Now that the buzz is worn off, I feel ready to pass out.
I don't blame you, buddy. Elaine?
Thank you so much. I feel like I've rekindled the passion I had when I first joined the troupe. It might turn out to be too little, too late for me. But still, this has been the experience of a lifetime.
At the very... I genuinely thought they would keep playing as a troupe with Furina as like the main, what you call it, like director. But hey, we will see what tomorrow brings.